Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. Hello. Today's episode, you guys, I've been studying a lot this week, and I have so much just amazing, juicy things to bring to you. I'm really excited to dive in today and just get you all these little tidbits of information that I'm just soaking up, starting with purpose. I had a dear friend ask me, how do you find your purpose this last week? And I've just been kind of deep diving in on that. And how did I find mine? Well, I was at a low point when I found mine, and it was through hiring my first mentor and coach, Bob Proctor, and just needing help and realizing it and, diving in, making the decision and the commitment that I needed to do this. And within 24 hours, the money, I figured out a way of how to do it, not having any money at the time. And it was through following my intuition and really feeling at the time it was actually a big burning desire that this is something I had to do. There was no question about it. And then just making the decision and figuring it out. And it was through that. And had I not made that decision, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I wouldn't be living my I get to, I don't have to every day. And I wouldn't have found my purpose. So another thing that came up is, did I find my purpose or did my purpose find me? And that's a question that you can kind of go back and forth with, so how do you go about finding your purpose or help it to find you, whichever way you look at it? It's thinking and really giving yourself some time to think. I know one of the things that I heard over this weekend was the exercise is to the body what stillness is to the mind. So really, when's the last time that you were still for 15 minutes? Start with 5 minutes. Some of us can't even sit still for 5 minutes and just think or be quiet or just reflect. Meditate. I am still working so hard on trying to get meditation down because my mind just goes every which way. And it's a trained thing. You just have to continue every day and it will get better a millisecond, maybe a second a day. And it's through the repetition of doing that you'll flex that muscle and it will get better. So sitting quietly. When is the last time you sat quietly? And in sitting quietly, what comes to mind? Have you just allowed yourself the space to just be and to think? And if you do need some things to think about, I've got some questions that you can ask yourself. So, what do you enjoy doing more than others seem to enjoy? Like, it's not work. What do you lose yourself in? You lose track of time. You could look up and it's been 5 hours and you swear it's been 5 minutes. You are so in the flow of your purpose and of what you're doing. The rest of the world just fades away. What is that for you? What comes natural to you? And a lot of people will say, well, I don't know. I don't have anything like that. I get up and I do what I have to do and I hurry through the day and what we've all done before, because you haven't given yourself the space to either find your purpose or for your purpose to find you. If you're still waiting for it or looking for it or trying to find it. So really reflect on what it is you love to do. And just for a moment, ignore everything you've been taught, what society's told you, what you should do, what others expect of you, what roles you play. For a moment, just let all of that to the side, let it fall away. And for that moment, look inside of yourself and ask what feels natural. When have you felt the most alive? What's felt the most real to you? No judgment, just enjoyment. Really sit there, and if it could be anything, if you could go into 2023 and you could not fail, success was the only option for you, what would you go after? Who would you be? And forget all the expectations that are on you and really, really dive in and feel in the deepest part of your soul and of your intuition, of your higher faculty, living from the inside out. Go inside and really reflect on that. For me, it's service. For me, it's getting this information that I've uncovered and I've been studying and I've learned so much of and I've lived and I live every day. I want to get this into as many people's hands as possible because it can change, and it does change everything. So what is your purpose if you haven't found it? I would love to see some in the comments of what it is what is your I get to, I don't have to. And I know I was listening to a podcast with Jay Shetty, and he asks 3 questions of himself every day when he wakes up. First, how can I be of service today? So that's who can I serve? How can I show up? What does that look like? The second question is, what do I love about myself? Name 5 to 10 things that you love about yourself. And the third is, who do I want to be today? Who do you want to show up and be today? What's important to you? Who is important to you? And really get yourself into the mind frame of service. When we are born into this world, we are wired for generosity. And we are wired to show up and to serve and to give and to be of value to all those around us. And we're educated for greed. So we're born in generosity and we're educated for greed. We're told things are limited. You have to work hard to get money. Money doesn't come easily. There's only a certain number of kids that will get into this college. There's only a certain number of tickets to this event or to this show. We get limited all around us. And that's where a lot of the greed comes from. It's educated into us. It's instilled into us. So for just a moment, stop and think, and maybe even just do this daily or weekly. How can you come from generosity and back to when we were wired for generosity versus educated into all these things and beliefs and the environment and living from the outside in, what it's telling us we should or shouldn't do or can or can't do? The other thing that I heard on his podcast is, not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. That's pretty cool. I just had to share that because I thought that, sit on that for a little bit, reflect on that. What does that mean to you? I know what it means to me. What does that mean to you in your life, in your relationships, in how you show up, and what you put a lot of onus on, or you just really put a lot of time and energy and effort into? Is it in the right spot? Is it on purpose? Is it on goal? How do you feel? Is it light? Is it airy? Is it beautiful? Does it give you good energy, or is it heavy? It weighs you down. It gives you anxiety. It gives you depression, or, just that that place where you wake up and it's not anywhere you want to be, almost like a darkness. Yeah, definitely sit with that for a little bit and just know that there's no right or wrong. You're exactly where you should be. You're perfect as you are. It's taking what we've learned and where we've been and what we've done and choosing to reflect on it, learn from it, and move forward. Speaking of that and bringing it into relationships, Lisa Nichols, in one of her books, she talks about relationships. And whether it's friends or lovers or partners, there's 3 types of relationship. The first relationship is life-giving. And that's a relationship that can last 1 day to 2 years. And that's a person that comes in your life, and you might have just the most amazing night or the most amazing day or 2 with this person, and then they're gone to never be seen again. Or it could last up to 2 years where they're just in there and it's just a whirlwind. It's impactful. It's there and it is so just consumes you for a month, 6 months, anywhere up to 2 years. It's the person or the relationship that lets you know you're still alive. You still got it. You're going to stay in this game and they just remind you of who you are, why you're here, and to keep going. It gives you energy, and that's why it's short-lived, because it is such a whirlwind. It cannot be sustained. The second one is a lifetime relationship, and that is someone that's going to bury the other. So it's for your lifetime. They're there throughout your lifetime. That's a lot of family members, a lot of people that are just in your life, and they're there because they've always been there. And someday, whoever goes first, you'll be there, or they'll be there to bury you, or you'll be there to bury them. But it's a lifetime relationship. And the third one is a purposeful relationship. And this is where we have the most, probably about 80% of our relationships are in the purposeful relationship. And about 90% of that relationship, it can be, disruptive, chaos, discord. It's a relationship that is brought together. So you and the other person, whether it's a friend or a spouse or a loved one, you're brought together to serve a purpose. Whether it's raising children, it's forming a business, it's going on an adventure together, whatever that looks like, it serves its purpose. And that can be for 3 years, up to 25 years. And where the chaos comes up and the disruption, the discord of the relationship is, in the sadness even, is all that happens once the purpose is fulfilled. It's in the beginning of it, it's fantastic. You're coming together. You find it finds the purpose finds you. You find it. You fulfill it. And then that's when the decline will start happening. We ask, why can't we go back to the way it was? Well, the way it was is no longer because the purpose has now been fulfilled. That's where, friends might have moved on and you're no longer friends anymore, or divorces happen, or, relationships, people just sustain throughout the rest, of the time together. They can stay together. The relationships can still stand. And yet once the purpose is fulfilled, it will never be the same. And that brings me to, how do you then take that relationship and sustain it? It's kind of like watering a plant. So when you're out serving people, or you're living in your purpose, and if you're really, really on fire and just, what your purpose is, or you're out working really hard, you're getting everything you can, you're putting your family second, putting your spouse or partner second or third, and you're just working hard because you got to do this, because this is who you are. You're dedicated and nothing's going to get in the way. You got to make this money. You've made these investments. You've bought the house. You've bought this. You've bought that. And now you got to work your ass off. So things will fade. If you're watering all of what you feel you should be doing, and you should all over yourself all day long, I should do this, I should do that, I should be here, I should be there, it can be exhausting. And you have to watch what relationships you're watering. Because if you're over here watering this part of your life and you forget about your relationships, they will die. It's just the fact of life. If you're going to ignore it, and if you're not going to put time, energy, effort into it to sustain it, it'll go away. So it's just, again, awareness around that and what that looks like for you and what's important to you in your relationships. And as you look into this new year, who do you want to be? Who do you want to serve today? How can you be of service? And what do you love about yourself? Because if you start by really looking at what you love about yourself, that will put you in a really good vibration, and you'll be able to go out and shine. Because if you don't love yourself and if you don't appreciate yourself every day and start your day off with gratitude, it's going to be an uphill battle where it doesn't need to be. The other thing that I had heard this week that I wanted to touch on, because this is something that since I found this information in 2017, I continue to battle daily, weekly. I think a lot of us do, but that's the enrichment of self. What is true happiness and freedom? And what she had said was, once you can really, really sit with conviction and say, I have nothing to prove, I have nothing to protect, I have nothing to hide, and I have nothing to defend. If you can live with those 4 points, that is the key to true happiness and freedom in having an enrichment of yourself. Nothing to prove, nothing to protect, nothing to hide, and nothing to defend. So write those down. Ask yourself that. Can you live from there? And if you do have that thing from way back when that you want to hide, look at it from a different perspective. And what could you do good? What good could you do with that situation or that circumstance or that situation that happened? And defend. There's so many people that have to always be right or defend themselves, or, oh yeah, this or that, or this happened because of that, or, oh, I was late because of this, or, all the different things to defend their actions, or, even those are the little things, but going back to big things, like you have to defend. That's why I did this. It happened. It's in the past. If you're defending it, and if you're still hiding it, and if you're still protecting it, and you feel you have something to prove, then you're putting energy towards it. So I encourage you to start letting go of that negative, heavy, dark energy and look at it from a different perspective. And how can you take that and shift it to use it for good? Because there's good in everything. You just have to look for it and find it. One of the things that came up as well, last little bit before we go today, I wanted to share with you is every 6 months, I encourage you to ask your kids, your spouse, your partner, maybe your boss, whoever, some relationship that's really important to you. Ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our relationship? And the most important follow-up question is, what would it take to take it from an 8 to a 10? So ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, what are we? Where do you think we sit right now in your eyes? They say 8. Well, what would it take from your perception for it to go from an 8 to a 10? And then write that down. put a plan around that. Focus with intentionality on getting that up even from an 8 to an 8.5 or a 9. Or how can you get it to a 10? And check in every 6 months, maybe even every 3 months, maybe every month, maybe every week. I know Jack Canfield talked about this. I think this was a daily or weekly thing he did with, his very close team. It's eye-opening. And the things that you think you're going to hear, you probably won't. It will be something that will just be like, oh, wow, I had no idea. At least that's how it was with my kids. And you think, oh, they're going to want to spend more time, or I should do this, or I should probably be there more, or maybe just do a date night with just each of them. No, it's always something different, and it's beautiful. And it gives you, it just gives you so much insight and understanding, where we just assume we understand or we think we know how they're feeling. And truly, until you ask the question, and then more importantly, ask the follow-up question, or what you can do or what you can do together to move it up the scale, that's beautiful. And it'll light your heart up. At least it does mine. So thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible, because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.